Hello, today we're going to talk about OneForm and we're going to start coding it. And what we're doing is we're going to create the cReAtInG function that we're going to need to be able to watch for changes on things without updating the forcing updates through the context in React. If you've ever heard of something called Recoil.js, which is something made by an internal team at Facebook, it is a solution for the very problem that I'm also going to solve with cReAtInG. I don't need anything as complex as Recoil, and honestly, Recoil is not fully released as far as I know. So because of that, I'm just going to build this thing myself. It's going to be very simple. cReAtInG will return an object. The object will have two methods on it. It's going to have a publish method, which is a function, but I'm going to define it up above. So I'm going to define it like right here. Const publish. Okay. Equals that. And it's also going to have a subscribe method, and this will return an unsubscribe when it does do it. So we know we have a subscribe, and we know we will return from here with an unsubscribe some kind of function that unsubscribes you. So I got that much, right? That's pretty good. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's probably because I'm not using anything. I just don't have any code in here, and that's why the linting rules are failing. So before we can do any of this, we need to first add an object here to manage all of our subscribers, because this has to know like who's subscribed and who's not subscribed and whatever, right? Because anytime somebody calls subscribe, we get a callback here. It'll give us a callback, and this callback is a subscriber, maybe. I don't know. That's not really like RxJS terminology, but I'm gonna call it that. So this is, maybe it is. You know what? Maybe it is. Yeah, it is. Okay, so this is our subscriber, and we're gonna have a list of subscribers in an array, and we're gonna be maintaining this list of subscribers based on ones coming in here. Now, I really don't want to mutate this, but I can't see a way around mutating it without doing a ref. So if I created this as a ref, then I can mutate it. And I guess I can, because we're keeping with React, the way it's written in React. So this would be current, right, and is equal to that. So it initializes as an array, even though this is not a hook. Okay, this will not be a hook, but we can use it like it's a hook. We can define values in the way that you would understand them had you been using React. So now we can mutate it, and it's just fine. So like when it updates subscribers.current, you would do this, equals. Now we are mutating it, but we are mutating it to subscriberrefs.current.concat the subscriber. So we're going to add the subscriber in to our object here, or our array here, and we'll create a new one every time, which may or may not be an issue. I mean, performance-wise, I just use push, but whatever. It's immutable. And when we return here, we want to remove the subscriber from the array here. So we need to know what the index is, and we should be able to know by getting the length of this -1 at the point in time after we've done that. So length -1, that is, if we put all this together, that is going to be the location in the array. Now, that's not true though, because as the array length changes over time and other things unsubscribe, then it won't be there, right? And I could just leave a blank space in the array, but I really don't have to. You can remove things from the array. You just have to find their index first. So I would find index of the subscriber method, and then I would take that index. We could even call it subscriber index. We can take that index, and then we can remove it by basically doing this thing. It looks kind of bad with the subscriber ref and the .current part, but I mean, this is how we're going to have to do stuff in React too. If we're mutating ref, we're going to have .current everywhere, and we will be mutating ref. So you want to slice here from 0 to the index, and then you want to concat in the subscribers ref.current sliced to the index +1, which essentially says get rid of this item by getting the index of it and getting an array of 0 to 1 minus that, and then everything past it. And that's a way you can, essentially it's a splice. That's what we coded here. if you work with React like you would, or Redux, this kind of stuff would be more familiar. But I mean, with Redux, you can also create a duplicate and then splice it that way. So it's not too crazy. So this is a function which would unsubscribe you, and then once it's done, we are unsubscribed. We don't need to return anything though. So this is a, yeah, okay. It's a side effect. Sorry, unsubscribing would be a side effect. Not in the typical sense. Having this up here is almost like, these are closed over in scope. Okay, so when we publish, what we're going to do is we're going to publish on the subscriber. But how do we know which subscriber? It is all of them. So when you publish, you have the subscriber here, and you're going to for each. So because we're doing a side effect, if we're doing map, then we're obviously trying to save something. We're just doing a side effect here. We're going to take this value, and we are going to publish it to every subscriber. Like that. And we're done. And I think that's cReAtInG. Man, that was fast. Now we can unit test it. Yeah, so it has a publish and a subscribe, and it's once you've created it, you've created it. Cool. No unused vars. Oh, I need to export it. Export default. So my question here is why is this unit test passing when I said expect it to be truthy? What was it before? Like I can tell what it is now, but oh, it's not gonna log. It is gonna log. Cool. It's a function now. But what was it before? Like if I don't export it, what in the world did I think it is? Like an object? Yeah, it should be an object. Yeah. It's not logging it. Yeah, it's an object. Yeah, it's an object because this is Jest is not using ECMAScript 6 stuff modules. It's using, it assumes like there's an object with a default prop on it, and so it gets the object and then it would look for the default prop, because this is it. Jest is going to convert this to something like this. Well, actually, Jest isn't. Babel is going to do it, and Jest is going to work with Babel to do that. It's going to do this, or it would deconstruct it and then do default create observable like that. So okay, we've got it now, right? So what should it be doing? We talked about it a bit ago. This is why I have two sides here. So it only exports two things. So we really only have to worry about those, but we need to make sure that the subscribers, like there wouldn't be anything subscribed or whatever. So when I basically need to publish a value when all of the subscribers are gone and make sure that nothing hears it. Now the thing is, I wouldn't really have a way to do that, but I do, but I don't. It's hard to say without giving access to the subscribers ref outside of cReAtInG. It's difficult to know what's in here, and for debugging, it's great to know. But I mean, I don't want to expose those things. I guess I could expose it with like an underscore so that people can know that like I can use it for testing purposes. Like this, I can expose it this way. And that way it's unit testable because I can get access to this and verify that there's nothing in there. I'm trying to think of how I would unit test it. So one of the things I need to do is that I need to subscribe to it and then unsubscribe. And then I need to verify that there are no subscribers. Well, unless this is exported here, there's no way to verify that. Next, I need to publish and I need to verify that a subscriber will hear that. All the subscribers that have been subscribed will receive the publishing. So that's another test. And that I can verify. But that I can verify. And then the last thing is that, yeah, I think that's it. It's so simple. I think those are the only tests I need. So it should, the very first thing I think is we got to check on, I was going to say we should check like allowing subscriptions, but the subscribing, you wouldn't be able to verify it unless you published. So I think we need to first verify unsubscribing. Unsubscribe when unsubscribed. One thing I've been considering, so I'm returning a function here the same way that React would when you're unsubscribing from something. In RxJS, it actually returns an object, and you would call .unsubscribe on the object. So this is going to be a little bit different from that if you're familiar with it. And I don't know if I want it to be exactly the same as that or not. If other things have a .unsubscribe, then I would definitely want to be 100% exactly the same. If because this is kind of looking like React as it is, I don't want that, but I might change it if somebody gives me a good argument. Okay. So it should unsubscribe when unsubscribed. Perfect. Yes. So we are going to do observable equals create observable, right? That you don't ever pass in anything as far as I know. And so we expect observable to be truthy. Well, I mean, that doesn't matter. We just need to call the unsubscribe method. So observable.subscribe. We don't even need to pass it a callback. It doesn't technically care if there's a callback, but if you don't pass one, this won't work. Ah, okay then. So that's a bug. I already found it. If you don't pass a callback, a subscriber, it will break. So I can just put function.prototype as a subscriber. And you might say, well, what if two people don't pass a subscriber when they call subscribe? That's fine, because I'll just remove the first one, then I'll remove the second one. I don't care which one I remove, as long as I remove one. But when you'll call publish, it'll publish on it. Yeah, but the point is that this code won't run properly. I guess I could check to see, if I could check to see here if there's not a subscriber, but I'd rather just do a default value and assume that everybody's going to pass a function here. Like, why wouldn't you pass a function to your subscription? It wouldn't do anything otherwise. So, okay, so this is the unsubscribe method. Yeah, I feel like there's only two things to test in this. And I also feel like I'm missing something. And then we call unsubscribe after we've subscribed. So I could, yeah, I guess that's fine. I mean, I could just do this, but then nobody would know what I'm doing. Okay. Then what else? So, okay, this is clearly truthy. What in the world? Did this not work? So maybe the first thing is that when I create the observable, that's a test I didn't even think about. When I create the observable, it should create the observable? Like what? Should create an observable. Okay, so I still need to unsubscribe from it though, but I'm not going to test that. I'm just going to test that my observable works. But then what about these? It's like still in memory. I haven't cleaned up after myself. I'll put my expect down here. So this should be not truthy, but this should return us a method with two things that we actually care about on it. So we should expect that publish is a function and subscribe is a function. So I would do like observable.publish is a function. This is internal, so we don't care about it. We only care about it for unit testing. And I guess we could test that it's there for unit testing. Okay, so we want to care about these, that not they're truthy, but they're to be a function. How do you do that in Jest? Type of function. You could do type of this and type of that and expect to be a function as a string, but I bet you Jest has a way to do it with expect. I'm going to look here. Type of function. You're not seeing it. I'm going to pull it in so you can see it. All right. This is me trying to figure this out. So this is to mock. I mean, that's not what I want, right? I don't want the mock thing. I want the... I have no clue. I don't know what to do with Jest when I'm at the docs at this spot. I mean, this says docs here, but where's the subdocs? Where are all the little articles and stuff that I can use to say, hey, I want the expect stuff. Okay. So something about a function, right? Man. It's going to be like to be, something like that. To be defined? No. To be truthy, undefined. To contain. To equal, to match. So I guess I could do type of. That's fine. Just looks weird. But can I do this? Call it like a function and then do this? I mean, I know that works. That's what I expected. My linting rules would say it, but I don't know what's causing space unary ops to fire. Maybe it's something I did. What if I put a space here? Is it okay? So it's like if. It's like writing the word if. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that looks weird. I don't like it. Okay. Function. Okay, so now we check our tests, see if they pass. Okay, I want to know which one failed. So, and the OneForm test, we'll get rid of it because we're not using it. It was just there to make it not error. Okay, so should create an observable. That is false because Yeah, this is really weird because it's like converting from ECMAScript module. You know, it's like converting it to this weird format. cReAtInG. What's the error here? Type error is not a function. How is this not a function? It is a function. I mean, I even logged it earlier and it said it was a function. Like when I log this thing, should create observe. Okay, yeah. But is it a string? This looks like a string to me. This is not a string. cReAtInG is an object. Interesting. Is it because the import syntax? Is it just something weird I'm doing? Or did I export it wrong? Or did I not save the file? I didn't save the file. Okay. All you TypeScript people out there telling me I'm doing something wrong. See, that wasn't the issue. It's just I didn't save it. Okay. Okay, so it's still like passing all the tests. Observable is truthy. Okay, we are correct on that. But what I really need to check now is this private, I want to say it's not method though. It's this private property of the observable to make sure that observable, this is like leaking the internals. I really don't like this at all. I feel like somebody's going to use it and break my code. Even though it's me, like I'm the one that's making all this. I don't like leaking the internals, but for unit testing, I really need it. Dot length equals 0. Maybe somebody can tell me if I'm doing, like what I can do to fix that. That's not truthy. This is, can I get the length of something? There's a way I thought with just to get the length. Man. Length. Yeah, to have length. Yeah. Okay. To have length is 0. What, you don't like it? What's wrong here? At least it's erroring. Match error. Receive value must have a length property whose value must be a number. Well, how about if I did this? Dot current. That should work now. Because this is not an array. That is. It still doesn't like me. Receive length 1. Oh, hey, my code's broken. Great. Received array function anonymous. That's weird. Oh, because that's an anonymous function that I passed in here as a subscriber. So when I call unsubscribe, it should remove it. So hey, the unit test is working. We actually broke my code. Or actually, we didn't break it. It's already broken because I didn't pass in a subscriber. So it should use function prototype. And this is like should unsubscribe when no subscriber passed, right? And it should also unsubscribe when there is a subscriber passed. Those are the two different tests there. And we're getting some tests now. But the problem is I still can't figure out why it's not working. So come in here. Here's your subscribe method, right? I call it. It adds this into the list that had nothing in it originally. Then we get the subscriber index of the one that matches. What if there's no subscriber index, or this is, this would be -1, then it would break, right? But it has to be there because I created it. It should be able to unsubscribe it. I wonder where it puts the logs. Oh, down here? Okay. 0. That is correct. The index is at 0. Oh, this doesn't work when the index is 0 because I start here at 0. I bet you there's a solution to this that I haven't thought about. But this should be slice, just this piece if it's at 0. I mean, I could check if it's 0 and then do some other path, but I would prefer to use this path if I can. So now I got to think about how to fix this. I have written a lot of code like this, and I feel like I've never run into this issue before, but I have, because I remember seeing this issue before. That's why I knew what the problem was. It's including 0. 0 is inclusive. If I do -1, the thing is, it would go to the index, which is 0. Okay, maybe -1 is correct. I wonder what slice -1 does, in fact, because when you put negatives in the slice, I think it goes the opposite direction, something like that. Yeah, let's do this and test it. So thank you for your errors. Array, right? We have one value in it. I'm gonna just call this a, so to differentiate it from the number of it. So slice -1, that gives us A. Slice at 0 obviously gives us A. What about -1 to 0? That works. That works. That does solve the problem. And what about this one? Subscriber index +1. So dot. Let's do slice of this same array. Yes, at 1. It's also not going to have it. So this should fix the bug that we're having, where this is -1, this is 0, and then this is 1. So it should skip over 0 at that point. That's interesting. I wonder what -1 does if you have other values in the array. Okay, so it just picks the last value. Interesting. So if I do that, it's gone. If I do that, it's also gone. So I can't use -1 as the first one because that's obviously not consistent. Okay, fine. I'll just... Yeah, I just wanted to try something cool or clever. I should really say it's clever because it was a bad solution. So I just want this if the index is 0. If subscriber index equals 0, and do that. Otherwise, bam. And then this is going to be... I need to... Oh, somebody must have caught this earlier. This is why we do unit tests, because I wrote this really fast. And I didn't catch it. It still doesn't work though, right? Let me make sure 100%. Like, if I do 0 and 0, it's gone. No. Hang on. Oh, so I don't need the alternate code path. It was just bad code. Wow, so I would have made it work for 0 and not any others. Well, the good thing is when I do unit tests, I do multiple. So I never just stop at the 1. It's just I'm not to the point where I'm doing multiple unsubscribes. Because I would have to... That's why we made this available, so I could check and verify. And I made an internal method. Although I still don't like exposing it. It's really bad. Cool. At this point, this test should be passing. Oh, was this? Linting error? There's an unexpected something. Oh, that might be why. Yeah, I changed around a bunch of code. We'll do it. Normally, I can see the top and bottom of where these things are, but I can't because it's so big right now. It's like when I code, it's normally like this. And I have 5 columns or 6 columns. So what you're saying is like the very, very like giant YouTube or, you know, like screen sharing kind of way of I would be doing this. So they both pass. That's expected. Okay, so then we want to duplicate this test. And this one is going to be should subscribe. That's going to stay. Should unsubscribe when a subscriber is passed. I could say a callback, but it is a subscriber. Just the thing is, normally in RxJS, the subscriber could be a function, but it could also have like next, error, and complete. But this wouldn't have that. So I need to make sure that it called it too. But I don't know. I don't need to make sure about that. That's another test. Do I want to like... I'm trying to think of how I want to do this. I could check in this array to see if it's even in there. But if it has length 0, then I don't have to worry about it. And I could just pass function prototype here, but the goal is literally to not do that. I mean, this looks weird. All right, fine. One line it. No, I'm just going to do it like this because I'm passing it in weird. Okay. Okay, so it should unsubscribe when a subscriber's passed. Should unsubscribe when no subscriber passed. How about that? And just keep it shorthand. It should create an observable. Yes, it did. Those methods are correct. And then now, what should it do? It should, when we are calling publish, it should call all subscribers. Should publish to all subscribers. And I will actually subscribe twice now because I need to create 2 separate observables to make sure that both of them got the message. Now, I mean, a unit test could just test one or the other, but I need to make sure that both of them get it. So that's why I'm doing it this way. I could for each this. I'm making it like very distinct here. I don't want my test to have code in it, but I really could for each this. I mean, I don't want to make 2 of them. I would have to pass in 2 callbacks, and then I would have to use just fn, the mock function thing to. This is fine. This is fine. I don't care about this now because so we should do a test that if you subscribe to 2, it unsubscribes from both. We should definitely do that. And then we can do our publish test. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Okay, and then that's this. We only care about one of them. They're both the same, right? Or oh, what am I doing? Oh man. Wow, that was weird. Okay, so you can create multiple subscribers to the same observable. Why am I creating multiple observables? That's dumb. Okay, so we need to call both unsubscribes. But I need to actually, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to check that after the first one is gone, that the second one is also there. And I want to unsubscribe to them in a different order from when they were subscribed, and also make sure that that's working. So here it should have 1, and there it should have 0. So I'm going to make another test based on this one. And I'm going to make sure that should unsubscribe from all subscribers out of order. That when you swap, this is also wrong. This should be observable. This code is going to error. Okay. These need to be swapped, and that should fix it. Okay. So this one, I said something was wrong here. This needs to be observable. It is. Oh, did I copy the test in the wrong location? Yeah. It's probably because my screen is like too tall. Okay, should subscribe from all subscribers. Should unsubscribe. I just moved these tests. I think there's a way to close them all cleanly, where you're just closing the one you're in. But I don't think I've ever done that. It's like I've never learned it. And I could do that. That's not gonna help though. All right, cool. Let me run those tests, and then the publish one is down here, which should fail. Yes. Okay. So because I want one observable, and I mean I could do another one to make sure that each instance is unique, but I don't want to test that. It's fine. I mean I'm not defining anything outside of the function, so it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna get into that situation. Okay, so unsubscribe 1, unsubscribe 2. Yes. Observable is still the same for both. And then now I need a justFN mock function. I need to make sure that both of them got called. And is it just justFN like this? Like that? I think that's how you do it. So mock subscriber 1 and mock subscriber 2. And they're both just functions. And they don't need to do anything. They don't need a console log or anything. I don't even care what was called, but I do care what was called. But I don't need to pass anything into them because it's all side effects anyway. Every subscribe is what I would consider a side effect. Okay, so these are the mocks, and then I need to unsubscribe from both of these at the end of the test. Okay, and these I need to verify that these were called with. So expect these. I don't need to check the length anymore, thankfully. To have been called with. That's number 1, because I do need to publish onto the value at this point in time, right here. I need to do observable.publish and make sure that what I put in here is also what I get out. I'm gonna pass it an object. So I'm gonna say, and normally I put it at the top. I think it makes sense to do it here. Expected value, or is this actual value? This is the actual value. Okay. I can just say value. It's fine. It should be not confusing. Okay, so these obviously are going to be 2 different expects. So I expect both of them to have been called with the expected value, which is that. And then I also expect them to have been called once. So just duplicate it, I guess. To have been called times 1. Okay, but these, I actually don't, I mean, I can check the values there first and then check that they've been called once. Aha, 0 calls. Hey, great. Expected an object, number of calls 0. It looks like I'm getting two different errors, but it's not, I'm not sure, because this is green, and that is not. Two have been called with expected, yes. It looks like this is failing, but I don't think so. I think this is failing, which is the same as that. But then it says here, number of calls 0. Oh, meaning the function never got called, so you can't even check that it did that. So like maybe I should have put this, maybe I should have put these checks first. The number of times you get called. No, that's what I normally would do. I was trying something different. Obviously, it was a bad idea. Okay, so did it get called once? No, it got, okay, this makes more sense, this kind of error. Great, because it didn't get called. Now that's why we wouldn't even look to see if we have a value. Okay, I was thinking it would get called multiple times, and that's why I would do that. Okay, so what's wrong with these? It was never called. Received number of calls. Okay, let's look at the publish. So we passed in a subscriber, which is a just mock. And then in our publish, we look at all of these, and we did, okay, well, hang on. Let's make sure this is, we got the equal sign here. We are concatenating it into it. So it's being added. And then up here, we are looping through all of them, and we are calling them with the value that was published. Yeah? They are subscribed. I have not called unsubscribed in here until here. What if I get rid of these down here? Just want to see. It shouldn't do anything. I just want to, like I said, it's what I would call a sanity check if you do that. Making sure that everything works as I expected. You could call me crazy for expecting that to have changed anything in the first place. Why is this? Oh, is it because I'm in the zone? It tells me where I'm in? Oh, that's cool. Okay. I should know that, but these plugins change over time, so sometimes I don't. It's like doing this right now should tell me where the beginning and ending are over here, but they're not doing that. It might be because my screen, it's like zoomed in. Yeah, maybe that's what's going on. Or they changed the plugin recently, and I don't know. Okay, so here's mock, unsubscribe, value, observable, publish. And then unsubscribe to both of them. Then we check that they were called. Okay. So I'm checking that this in particular has been called once. This looks correct because it's not erroring that it's not a mock subscriber or anything. Did I not pass them in? Is that maybe why it didn't work? Is it actually because my test is broken and not my code? What didn't it? There. Okay. So I think it's all good. I think this is 100% unit tested. We made sure it unsubscribes when you pass a subscriber. When I want to redo this. When should unsubscribe the subscriber, yeah, and then should unsubscribe no subscriber. I mean, these don't make tests now. These don't make sense now. Should unsubscribe the passed in subscribe. I don't like to say passed in. Should unsubscribe a subscriber. Should unsubscribe no subscriber. That, I guess that's fine. Should unsubscribe from all subscribers. This has from. This doesn't have the preposition. From no subscriber. Should unsubscribe from a subscriber. Okay, how about that? And then should unsubscribe from all subscribers out of order. When unsubscribed out of order. Should publish to all subscribers. Yep. This is like the main piece of it. So all the other stuff is just cleanup. Cool. There we go. There's our unit test. I could make multiple observables and make sure that when you publish on one, it doesn't publish on the others. But the whole point of having everything in this function means that's not going to happen. Somebody would have to take this method and move it out. And you could say, well, you got to test for that. It's like, I'm writing this code. And somebody else, yes, they could pick it up. And yes, they could break it. And they could do weird things like that. I don't think they're going to touch this. And this is kind of where the money meets the road. When the money meets, I don't know, time. I have a finite amount of time. And this is enough testing for me for this particular piece. So there we go. We created an observable and ran tests on it. There's our first piece of OneForm. Great. And that was a very long video. Okay, next. next video, I will start using these observables because I need to start on the next part, which is the value observables. Yes, I need to be able to track values on fields. And then I need to make fields able to have values on them, they get tracked and all this stuff. So we'll get there. Goodbye.